Everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another video from Organic Garden Setup. Uh, Today I'm going to be showing, demonstrating, explaining a simple, real simple, how to put together a real simple, basic, easy solar power system. And just where you can get started if you've had an interest in putting together a solar powered system, and just how you can kind of get your feet wet and get started with the basic one, and then it's always possibility to add on from there. But just a real basic solar power system is going to consist of a power inverter. This is a power inverter here, and back on this side you have your positive and your negative side, and these are terminals. You might not be able to see that real well. There you go. These are terminals where you'll connect your black and your red. These terminals right here are coming from my battery. The battery is in this plastic container. I put it there just to keep it out of the way, safer that way. It does have acid in it, and so I have it in this container, and I just cut a small hole right here in the lid of the container, and where I have my cables coming up from the battery itself to this inverter. Okay, now the inverter allows me to use the battery because it converts it from the 12 volt electricity that comes off typically battery, like a car type battery, and then on this side allows you to use it with a standard outlet for whatever type of device you'd like to connect in here. Now I am using it to power a light in my chicken coop, so because of that I have connected a timer here to the outgoing power, and then I have power supply here going out. So this is the energy that's going output from my solar system. My particular application is going to a chicken coop, and so I'll tell you more about that. But this wire right here goes out through my exterior wall of the house and through the yard and over to my chicken coop. So now when the power comes in from the solar panel, you also want to have in the line a solar charger to protect your battery so that it doesn't overcharge. So when your battery is full, this device turns off, cuts the circuit, and prevents your battery from getting overcharged. So you definitely want a charge controller, and then you'll need a power inverter to convert the electricity from the 12 volt that's found in a battery to make it usable for you to connect all your typical household appliances. If you want to just connect a small appliance. Now if you want to use it for other applications, well, you can, but this is just a basic simple system how to get started. So in this box, as you see here, this is where I keep the battery. Now this is a larger battery. I think maybe it was for marine use. And if I lift up the lid, you see there's the battery right there, and those big terminal connectors are taking the energy from the battery back out to the inverter, and then from the inverter I can plug in a typical device and use it. The other smaller cables that you see those are coming from the power, the electric cable from my solar panel first passes through this solar power charger controller, and then, you know, on one side it's coming into it over here on this side, and going out of it over here on this side. And so the outputs are the small little cables that are connected there to the terminals, the positive and negative, red and black terminals on this battery, and that's what's charging the battery. Right? So I have two sets of cables that are charging the battery, and two sets of cables that are in power input, and another two set of cables that are the output. And all this is in this plastic container here for safety. Keep it so nobody can accidentally touch the terminals, and also it is a battery, it has acid. Keep everything contained in case there was an accident. Now on this side here, I have the cable that's coming in from the solar panel, and I just put a hole here in my box that's going in from the solar panel, and you can't see it, but it goes basically underneath the lid and into this solar charge controller, and then from there goes to the battery. So this is the power that's coming from my solar panel, and then I just have it going through a hole in my exterior wall out to the solar panel. I'll show you that in a minute outside. Then I have this other cable here where I'm using the electricity. This is going back out as well outside. This is coming from that timer that I showed you, and the output that I'm using the electricity. That also, you can do this at heavier gauge wire if you want, and put it in a piece of conduit, you know, mounts it, or even, you know, put it inside your drywall, or put it, you know, regular cable, and then put in a piece of conduit that's running along your baseboard or something to more of a permanent installation. So this is coming in from the solar panel. This is going out to a light bulb that I have in my chicken coop. Alright, let's go outside and take a look at the solar panel itself. So right here I have I'm sorry, I'm looking at something else. Right here is where I have both pieces of cable, one going in charging the battery, and the other coming out to my light outside. Put it in a piece of conduit here, and that needs a little more caulk to seal that up. This is outside of my house. And then I have this just going underground just to keep it out of the way. So I buried that, and the cable in conduit. It goes under my lawn here. You can't see it, of course, but it's all buried underground. Both cables, the cable that's powering my battery from the solar panel, and the power cable that's going back out. For convenience, and I just had, so this is my electrical traffic area under my lawn. Now both those pieces of cable come out here near my fence, and I have an outdoor junction box, outdoor weatherproof junction box that you'll want to make all your exterior connections with. Make the connections in there if you have to, and or make it a straight run. But if you have to make connections, put it in a weatherproof electrical exterior box. And those two pieces of cable come up this piece of conduit. And every once in a while you want to put your conduit fasteners and come up here. So this is the bottom. The cable that's going over to the left is the power in from my solar panel, and the cable over here to the right that's wound up is going and powering a light bulb in my chicken coop. So this cable comes up right here and goes up underneath this solar panel, and there's a positive and a negative place you can connect on the solar panel. So I have it connected there. I just made a little base out of simple wood. What I did is put this up kind of, in an angle, and connected this to my fence, and made the angle right there so that the surface of this would be somewhere near a 45-degree angle. Now this is better for the summer when the sun is more high, but ideally in the winter I should adjust this or make it adjustable so it can be facing more like this, and that'll give you more energy from the sun. You want to face always perpendicular to the sun. So anyway, I put these pieces up here, connected them with this cross member, put a piece of plywood under the whole bottom. Wow, those are my those are my hands. They sure are trying to get attention, aren't they? Whew, yeah. They don't want me to make this, do they? And so you have a piece of plywood here to provide stability to the solar panel. Piece of plywood right here. And then I just simply put a screw right there to keep it in place on this side. Screw on this side. And a screw up here. Actually, I need to tighten up some of these. And screw over here. So these screws are basically keeping this solar panel in place, and the plywood and lumber is keeping it at this angle. And from there you have your output, and you can this should be in conduit. Right now I don't have it in conduit, electrical conduit, but then that can go to power whatever you like. Okay guys. Well, he's wanting a lot of attention, so I'll let you see him. Hey guys, we see you. We know you're there. Oh yeah, we know you're there. And so I just have this power cord here, and this goes inside my chicken coop here, and that provides electricity for my chicken coop. And it's also on that timer that I showed you, so it comes on just when I need it. So I'm just using the solar energy when I need it for that light bulb, certain hours